Circular ruins. And if he left off dreaming about you through the looking glass, or, sorry, 6. No one saw him slip from the boat in the unanimous night. No one saw the bamboo canoe. You know what? I'll just don't do any sound. It's too distracting. No one saw him slip from the boat in the unanimous night. No one saw the bamboo canoe as it sank into the sacred mud. And yet within days, there was no one who did not know that the taciturn man had come there from the south, and that his homeland was one of those infinite villages that lie upriver on the violent flank of the mountain, where the language of the Zend is uncontaminated by Greek, and where leprosy is uncommon. But in fact, the gray man had kissed the mud, scrambled up the steep bank, without pushing back, probably without even feeling the sharp-leaved bulrushes that slashed his flesh, and dragged himself, faint and bloody, to the circular enclosure, crowned by the stone figure of a horse or tiger, which had once been the color of fire, but was now the color of ashes. That ring was a temple, devoured by an ancient holocaust. Now, the malarial jungle had profaned it, and its god went unhonored by mankind. The foreigner lay down at the foot of the pedestal. He was awakened by the sun high in the sky. He examined his wounds and saw, without astonishment, that they had healed. He closed his pale eyes and slept, not out of any weakness of the flesh, but out of the willed determination. He knew that this temple was the place that his unconquerable plan called for. He knew that the unrelating trees had not succeeded in strangling the ruins of another promising temple downriver, like this one, a temple to dead, incinerated gods. He knew that this immediate obligation was to sleep. His immediate obligation was to sleep. Sorry, I can't read. I'm trying. Can't hear. You're either very lame at trolling, or anyway. About midnight, he was awakened by the inconsolable cry of a bird. Prints of unshod feet, a few figs, and a jug of water told him that the men of the region had respectfully spied upon his sleep, and that they sought his favor, or feared his magic. He felt the coldness of fear, and sought out a tomb-like niche in the crumbling wall, where he covered himself with unknown leaves. The goal that led him on was not impossible, though it was clearly supernatural. He wanted to dream a man. He wanted to dream him completely, in painstaking detail, and impose him upon reality. This magical objective had come to fill his entire soul. If someone had asked him his own name, or inquired into any feature of his life till then, he would not have been able to answer. The uninhabited and crumbling temple suited him, for it was a minimum of visible word. So did the proximity of the woodcutters, for they saw to his frugal needs. The rice and fruit of their tribute were nourishment enough for his body, which was consecrated to the sole task of sleeping and dreaming. At first, his dreams were chaotic. A little later, they became dialectical. The foreigner dreamed that he was in the center of a circular amphitheater, which was somehow the ruined temple. Clouds of taciturn students completely filled the terraces of seats. The faces of those farthest away hung at many centuries' distance, and at a cosmic height, yet they were absolutely clear. The man lectured on anatomy, cosmography, magic. The faces listened earnestly, intently, and attempted to respond with understanding, as though they sensed the importance of that education that would redeem one of them from his state of hollow appearance and insert him into the real world. The man, both in sleep and when awake, pondered his phantasms, answers. He did not allow himself to be taken in by impostors, and he sensed in certain perplexities a growing intelligence. He was seeking a soul worthy of taking its place in the universe. On the 9th or 10th night, he realized, with some bitterness, that nothing could be expected from those students who passively accepted his teachings, but only from those who might occasionally, in a reasonable way, venture an objection. The first, the accepting, though worthy of affection and a degree of sympathy, would never emerge as individuals. The latter, those who sometimes questioned had a bit more pre-existence. One afternoons now paid their tribute to sleep as well. Now the man was awake no more than 2 or 3 hours around daybreak. He dismissed the vast illusory classroom once and for all and retained but a single pupil, a taciturn. Taciturn? What is that? I gotta look that up. It's a person reserved or uncommunicative in speech, saying little. Okay. Hey, learn something new. Taciturn means quiet. Okay. So in this context, it's a quiet person listening to his teachings. Where was I? Those who sometimes question have a bit more pre-existence one afternoon.